Please give a pumped up, never settle welcome to one of the co-founders of Refinery 29, Piera Gelardi. Yes. Have a seat. Look at this. Is this not amazing right now? Oh, so cool to have you on set. This is incredible.
Oh, this is great.
She was in the dressing room trying to figure out. She's so creative and so colorful. We have to do the shoe shot.
The shoofy.
The shoofy.
Hashtag shoofy.
Oh, is that something new? Shoofy?
Yes, a shoofy is what we're doing.
You have silver, I have gold.
And people get into extreme shoofies. One of our editors did a whole story about it. People will go on helicopters to get the perfect shoofy.
What?
They'll climb buildings. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I'm a sneakerhead. I have to try to get into some of that. I got to try to take some really interesting.
Yeah, because you've got good. Yeah, you've got nice shiny shoes.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for being here. Really, it's a pleasure and honor to have you in here. Refinery 29, if you haven't already figured out, has changed the internet. You guys have changed the game. And it's not just me saying this. Corporate analytic reports from 2016 are showing that 50 million hours of use on the site. I think that equates to like 2 million days and close to 6 years. Like, this is something that's pretty amazing for someone that started this with 3 other friends and 5K 10 years ago. Tell me why it's so daggone popular. What happened? I mean, obviously, it didn't happen overnight. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
But why is it so popular? Why do you think people love Refinery 29 so much?
I think people really loved it when we started. We started with this different point of view. We started just focused on style, and we wanted to show style as self-expression, really celebrating people's individuality, and really shifting what beauty, like what was seen as beautiful at the time. And I think we saw this really narrow lens of beauty being represented that was basically to be beautiful is to be tall, thin, white, young. And we were like, we live in New York City, and there's so much really amazing. Yeah, and it was also all of fashion was like rules. Like, this is probably a don't somewhere, you know, it'd be like on the don'ts page or something. And we were like, this is so dumb. Like, fashion and style is about expressing yourself and having fun and feeling good in your own skin and like amplifying who you are. And so, you know, that was sort of where we started with it. And I think what really caught on was just, that kind of rule, you know, it was rule breaking at the time, but it was
going against the grain.
Going against the grain, irreverent, celebrating
uniqueness and individuality. But as you mentioned, that's not usually met with open arms. Normally, when something like that happens, it's uncomfortable. And you have to try to get people to get comfortable with that. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But why the name Refinery 29? I've been meaning to ask this question. So how did the name come about?
Yeah, people ask all the time. Well, so when we first started, we were really excited. We were living in Brooklyn, and we were really excited by all of these independent designers and voices in fashion that were kind of coming up. And we decided that we wanted to create a space that was refining the internet down to the really unique and untold stories. And then 29 was, I think you have the map up there. So there was 29 different stores and designers on the map. So it was, a little bit arbitrary. We were just, we were in a railroad apartment in Brooklyn. We kind of made this thing, and then here we are.
You all were in. That's for all of you.
Here we are, and everyone's like, "What's with this name?"
Well, it's working.